Hi, good
Hi.
evening, everyone. Hi, hello, everybody. Hi, Felix. Hi, Nina. Hi, Piero. And hi, Udenmo. I think I got all your name correct. Yay.
Hey, Roslyn.
Hi, hi,
Roslyn, hi, everyone.
Hi, Rusty.
hi. Hi, Demo. Great to see you guys here today. And we have been preparing this for about a week now. And to all the audience that's been tuning in, say hi to us so we can actually know you guys are there watching us. So today we are having a very special topic to talk to you and what we say to enlighten you about how can a freelancer strive to be successful. And I have four amazing professional speakers who's going to take you into this journey. At the end of today, each and everyone who's watching and you decided to become freelancer, you know exactly what to do. In 2014, the Freelancer Union commissioned a study that found 34% of the American workforce composed of independent workers, and that static is expected to grow to a whopping 50% by the end of 2020. And 75% of the freelancers said that they wouldn't trade their freelancing job for any type of work. Wow. And this statistic concluded that freelancers are a big opportunity in the market. Having said that, we now have four amazing panelists with us. So let us show you. They are here to share with you how can you strive as a freelancer. So it's with a great pleasure, let me welcome all of you, honorable panelists, to the session today. And it's my honor to give a short introduction about all of them. Okay, I'm going to try to make it short, okay? Each and every one of them has a very impressive portfolio, and I'm like, okay, I got to make it short. That's like a very, very difficult task, all right? So let's speak about Mr. Pero first. He is the founder of Addict to Grow and is at the forefront of partnering senior executive people of influence from many addiction, holding them back from leading and living an exceptional life. So, Mr. Pyro, would you like to add on to that? You are muted. I can't hear you.
Firstly, I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity, and what an amazing event to be sharing with you all about the Global Empowerment Summit for 2021. There is so much I could add, but is it worth adding? Not yet. I think it's definitely worth us just getting into conversation and starting there first.
Thank you so much. And let's go to Nina Sharil. Miss Nina Sharil, the founder of Chief Unicorn Officer of Popcorn. Nina transformed people and brands into digital thought leaders and authorities in their respective industry by expanding their presence, reach, and trust, and then enabling them to grow exponentially. Oh my God, that's amazing, Nina. And would you like to add on anything to that?
No, I think I'm really excited. First and foremost, thank you so much to the organizer for Andrea, especially for inviting me. Very excited to be part of this amazing lineup of panelists, and yeah, I can't wait to get into this.
Thanks, Nina. Thank you so much. Okay, next is going to be Mr. Felix Day. Mr. Felix, the founder of Unstoppable You. Oh my, when he told me the company name, I'm like, wow, that's like wow, right? Coaches solopreneur and side hustles to become a client attraction magnet using a small moves, big changes so that they go from burnout and stuck to doing business with dignity. Yeah, to you, Mr. Felix. Is that anything else you think I left out? You're muted.
Just want to say thank you so much for having me here on this Global Empowerment Summit. To be surrounded by my seniors, I guess. Piero and every one of you. I'm probably the latest newcomer into the scene, but I would love to trade insights and let's see where this conversation takes us. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Yes, but last but not the least, this amazing lady, Udenma Nina Ikoro. I hope I pronounced your full name properly. I have this problem of pronouncing, and when I speak to Mr. Peru, I told him you got to like literally teach me how to pronounce your name. So I hope I pronounced it correctly, all right? She's the founder of the International Woman African Masterpiece of Entrepreneur and Writers Academy. She's an advocate of gender equality, volunteering, education, parenting, and mental health. She helps professionals and organizations to move from clueless to clarity of a message, visibility, credibility, influence, and profit using digital assets and brand positioning. That is super important. So, Miss Udomo, would you like to add on to anything? You are muted. So that's going to be our lingo today, all right?
Oh, thank you so much. For now, I'm okay with that. I just want to appreciate the organizer and every one of my colleagues here. Thank you so much for having me on the call. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And to all our lovely audience, welcome to Global Empowerment Summit 2021, the young and the wise be bold together. And today, the topic which is going to attract all of you, how can you strive as a freelancer? And all the panelists here have an experience of becoming a freelancer and working with a freelancer and making them to become a successful freelancer, or they even moved their ladder to become an entrepreneur. So let's find out from them, how did all this possible? All right, so my first golden question. So I'm going to start with Pyro. What does being a successful freelancer means to you?
Self-freedom. I feel as if when you really understand how to be a freelancer and do it for yourself to satisfy watching others become freelancers, others grow in their own space, that's what really makes it feel successful for me. That idea of self-freedom. And to understand self-freedom, there's an element that you have to understand about yourself. Like, you need to know who you are so that you can articulate yourself in this world.
You're muted, Roslyn.
Okay, so yeah, so today we're going to have this muted and unmuted scene, all right? Okay, all right. So let's hear from you, Nina. What do you think?
I think a successful freelancer really goes back to us and what our definition of it. When you started becoming a freelancer, what was your vision for yourself? Did you aim big? You're gonna be an entrepreneur. The person who's gonna be making a difference in the world. Or you just wanted to work in your own time whenever you want to, as and when you want to. So it really goes back to you and what your vision of yourself. So we got to ask ourselves, because sometimes we get so caught up with what a successful freelancer is that we want to be like Chris Do, whoever we see out there, and then we forget, oh my God, wait a minute, that's not me. I just want to chill. So I guess it goes back to us and what is it that we want and what's that vision in ourselves. And it's okay to change that along the way. If suddenly you have a kid, mind, and you change your mind about it. So it's very fluid. It really is up to us. Yeah, that's my definition.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. So Nina said this word. Literally, she said that it's up to us. And I like the way that she put it. We work with our own time. As a freelancer, we can work within our own time. So I'm going to ask Felix. So Felix, is that really true? And what do you think about freelancers?
Yeah, thank you. Uh, I agree with what Nina has said. You see, the word success, as defined by a dictionary, is the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. Ultimately, I think that everything that we do in life is just a matter of helping us to become happy in life. It is actually that pursuit of happiness. And what she said was resounding for me, like it really resonate to me, because a lot of people are plagued by this notion of what does it really mean to be successful. And when they ask the question to somebody else, hey, what does it mean to be successful, and there's a risk of adopting other people's philosophies and other people's wants and desires for themselves. No, I want to be like Chris, though. I want to be like this, I want to be like that. But ultimately, what is it exactly that made you happy? For me, when I was I did this personal exercise before when I attended one of the courses where we have to write our own epitaph. So it's like this is how he sound. This is what people say about Felix when he died, and that particular exercise really helped me to focus exactly what is it that I want in life, and that is to create an impact. So if you ask me, my personal definition for me to being a freelancer is the seed of an impact. And what we actually do with the seed depends on us. That's it from me.
Oh, wow. Seed of the impact. I love that. I love that. Every single time when we do something or when we engage with something and we can create an impact, I think that's the very beautiful way of reaching out to many people out there. Well said, Felix. All right, let's go to Miss Odenma. What do you think? What do you think, in your point of view, being a successful freelancer?
Honestly, yeah, for me, being a successful freelancer is all about you fulfilling that definite purpose for going on the journey of freelancing. That because just like Nina said, it still goes back to you. What is it that you've defined for yourself as to this is what I want to fulfill on this journey of freelancing? So if you are fulfilling that, I think definitely that is you being successful. And for me, when you ask me about freelancing, I believe it's all about you serving, with your purpose, serving with your talent, your knowledge, and your skill. So if you actually serving with your skill, your knowledge, your purpose, I'm sure that you are being a successful freelancer. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes. So as all our panelists has put one thing forward is being yourself, defining your own success when it comes to freelancer is something that makes a lot of difference in you. Success is very subjective. There's no ABC answer for that. So thank you. Thank you for answering that perfectly. And I'm very sure you have shed a lot of lights to this ladies or the gentleman who's wondering, okay, am I successful or not? Yeah, that was lovely. Thank you so much. And yeah, so let's go and go a bit more deeper. All right. So, Mr. Pyro, I'm going to ask this question to you. Being a coach, you have brought people out from a very uncomfortable hole, I would say, to shed light with them and for them to actually see a light and move forward and become this exponential growth in their lives. So, now my question to you is, what are the qualities a freelancer should possess to be successful?
That's a really great question, Rosalind. Okay, so as you're sitting there in the audience, and if you're watching the recording, I want you to think about this. Do you have a business mission and a message that you want to share with the world? And do you want to make money sharing that message, that business mission with the world? So my question leads into this. So where are you? Maybe right now you're buried underneath the compounding excuses. Or perhaps you're shackled to the lies you keep telling yourself. Possibly, you listen to so much advice, you don't even know what decision to really make. Now, where would you like to be? Do you want to be screaming your business mission from the rooftops with so much energy that it doesn't matter what other people think? What I mean by that is, who do you really want to stand in front of? Do you want to be in front of Oprah one day? What would that really feel like if you did that? Or maybe you just want to unearth the truth behind the lies that you keep telling yourself. What do I mean by that? Well, really, do you wear a facade? And are you too afraid to step away from that facade to actually chase something that's worth living? Or maybe you need to actually ask for help so that someone can help you with those decisions that you must make so that you can show up the way you truly want to in the world. And what do I mean by that? So that you can wake up with so much desire in your stomach. Like, what's the point in having a belly without fire in it? If you could wake up that way every single day right now, how would that feel? So this is where you are. And this is where you really want to be. So how do you bring those two together? Well, psychology. Psychology, Roslyn and the audience, 80% psychology and 20% strategy. All of us on the panel, thousands of other coaches, thousands of other businessmen and women out there could give you the strategy. Easy. But you must have the psychology. That's 80%. To get up every day, to do it, to be it, to live it, to breathe it, to eat it. You need the psychology behind it. I believe, Rosalind, that is the one biggest key behind business and being a freelancer, being a businessman or woman or a company owner. You must be willing to have the psychology. And that is not just to work in the business, but also work on the business. And not only that, you must do more personal development and personal improvement on yourself so that you can work in and on the business.
Totally agree with you on that. It's so important, and the most important part is from which state are we starting and doing things is what makes us to go where we want to go. Thank you for sharing that insightful thought. And I'm sure a lot of them, even the panelists, will agree when you say psychology is very important when you're starting business. That when you get this right and when we know where we are heading to. And I love the way you said, are you moving forward because you are listening to so many advisors, or are you moving forward because you want to make the decision? I think that's like a phase that we should be pasting everywhere online and telling people, hey guys, you should be moving forward about for yourself and always make the decision, because we are the one end of the day going to go through that journey. So thank you so much. That's lovely. So Felix, would you like to add on anything to that?
I resonate so strongly with the word psychology. Is it okay if I tell a story?
Yes.
So many years ago, actually, I can't remember how many years ago, but a number of years ago, I started a business. It was a gym business. And for the first 2 years, that gym business did really well. But because it did so well, I failed to recognize that the only reason why it did well was because I was at the right place and at the right time. At that point in time, at my location, there was no competitor. And I let the success get to me. And I let the success affect my thoughts in a way that made me prideful and arrogant. And by the time I come to realize that and start to learn from other people and start to be humble, it became a little bit too late. And towards the last around 2 years and 1 year of the business being alive, I remember waking up every morning having panic attacks because I wasn't able to pay my employees. I didn't know how am I supposed to feed myself the following month. So it was only after that whole situation, there was one time I almost killed myself because of the pain of just trying to run the business and of the pain that was too much of letting go of the business. So if there's anything that I would like to add is, I want to add my voice to what Piero just said, because the most powerful lesson I learned from that whole ordeal, that whole trauma, was that the work that we do on ourselves is the single most important work that we can do for the world. That's what I would like to add.
Thank you for sharing that lovely story, which touches my heart. Thank you so much. Yes, I so resonate to that. Wherever we come from, knowing what it's coming out of it, that's more. And when you go into those kind of trouble and you know how to come out, and I'm glad you did, and you had your support group, Felix. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Nina, yes, would you like to add anything to that? I'm sure you have.
I don't really have plenty to say. I think I absolutely agree with these two amazing gentlemen here. I don't have an amazing story like Felix to tell. But when we're working with our people, the reason why they're so successful, the reason why their stories and their postings, the way they are online kind of jumps out to people, is because the first thing that we sort out is their why, knowing their why. Why do they do what they do? And most of the time, knowing the why has got to do with the impact that they create in the world. Why do they do this? We've got financial advisors, lots of financial advisors in our class, but they don't compete with each other because they're specific towards their niche. They know their audience, they understand it. So no, yeah, we teach people to be great on LinkedIn, to become thought leaders on LinkedIn. But at the end of the day, 80% of what we do has to do with mindset. It has to do with knowing your why. That's the first thing, and being yourself, being comfortable in your own skin, understanding yourself, and the value that you're able to give to the world. And we tell people that no matter, even if you're a 25-year-old, guess what? You are an expert. You are an expert in being 25-year-old during this time. I was an expert being 25 kind of a long time ago. It's no longer the same. You have your life experience, which nobody else is going to take that away from you. So knowing your why is what's going to wake you up every day and drive you until the end of the road, until you reach your destination. So yeah, knowing your why is very, very important.
Yes, thank you, Nina, for that. Yes, knowing your why is so important because that will always keep us going no matter how low we get, because life is full of a roller coaster journey. We go up, we go down. Yeah, Nina.
I do want to add one more thing. A lot of people get into a lot of drama and things because they don't understand themselves. They don't know their why. And they figure out when everything fails, that, wait a minute, this is not what I want to do, or they get into a relationship. Wait a minute, this is what people think I want to get into, but this is not me, and figuring, knowing your why could actually shortcut a lot of pain. Let me just say that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct. Agreed on that. Agreed. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, who has been watching us all this while, hello, hi, and knowing your why is important. Knowing how you're moving forward is very important, and you have an amazing coach is something that's very important as well. So later on, you're going to hear about that. All right. So let's go to Nina. This is something that I love to ask you, Nina. Literally about time management, because knowing you compared to the other two gentlemen, which I know you a bit more longer than them. So I think this is like perfect question for you because you wear a lot of hats. You are like it's like very difficult to catch you in hand. Okay. So, so at time management, I think you'll be the best person to share with them as a freelancer. Time management is very, very essential because sometimes a lot of people think I am a freelancer. I have all the time that I want to do what I want to do. Is that really true? Okay. So would you
No,
like
this is
to?
no, this is the biggest lie. I'm telling you. Maybe Felix and Piero can help me out because I'm going nuts and mental. But then again, I think it's got to do with myself because I fill up my time so that I don't have time with myself, so that I can avoid myself. You know what I mean? So there's something I'm avoiding. Look at Piero's face. Probably need a session with Piero. But anyway, yes, I find that doing the amount of things that I do, it's really. I'm gonna give some practical tips. First things first, have a schedule. Google Calendar is my best friend. If you don't book me on Google Calendar, that's it. You will not get me, kind of thing. And I use technology a lot. So Calendly is my friend, so you can make use with a lot of things that can help you. Knowing your pattern, knowing when you can take a break is also very important. So you might be a freelancer, but guess what? You're not free. Okay, you are working. All right, you should be getting paid. You are worthy of getting paid. So you need to know that it's a 9 to 5 job. Have very good boundaries. Just because you have clients, don't get out of that 9 to 5. You really gotta take care of yourself. So we have our own set of other things to deal with. So make sure you have 30 to 60 minutes break, just like you would in a lunchtime. So the scheduling is very important. And then if you're thinking, there was a point where I was doing a lot of things and I'm like, where did my life go? How many days have I been indoors going online? And then I realized I didn't have a proper schedule. So what I do now is, because one of my biggest thing is being active on LinkedIn, because that's where I get most of my business, so you need to schedule your time. So make time for it. You know what I mean? So 11 o'clock to a certain time, I have my sales call. And then you got to have your time to comment on LinkedIn and stuff like that. And you have a schedule. Like for us, we teach our students, whatever business you're in, your media company, whether you like it or not, we have no choice. We are a media company. So that's what we do. So having a really good schedule helps. At the same time, if things are not working out for you, you're getting drained out, is usually a sign that something is not working. You probably have a belief that's not working for you. So you want to look in. So for me, I was working hard. I didn't even have time to go to the bathroom and have a proper break, and you hear this happening a lot. But so what was happening was that I didn't have healthy boundaries. I was always giving out to people that I was not taking care of myself. Here's the thing. Your business is not going to be there if you don't take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself. And if people are not being nice to you, it's probably because you're not being nice to yourself as well. So self-care, self-love is very important. You got to take care of yourself. And if you're working yourself to death, what's the point of working? Because you got into this to help take care of your family. You know what I mean? So again, you got to go back to the basics. Why am I doing this? So trust me, I question myself a lot, kind of thing. So those are the things that you want to think of, having a schedule, and then make sure you have a break. And if things are not working out, it just means you probably got to collaborate with more people and figure out ways in which you can make your life easier. Yeah, that's what I would say. But I would love to hear from you guys as well.
Yes, thanks, Nina. And I'll let you pick. Who would you like to go next?
Oh, Junma, because she just came in.
Junma, we are talking about time management.
Thank you, sorry. Okay.
So,
Sorry, I apologize. Had a little network issue. All right. As a freelancer, when you talk about time management, one thing I would say that is important is that you need to know your capability. Know your capability. What can you handle? Okay, that you need all the money and you want to grow fast. You want to get to be seen is not enough for you to keep telling everyone, come, I can do it. No, you just have to know, what can I handle? What can I handle at this period of time? All right, so that you take just enough as you can take at that time. All right, and you can also, there's nothing wrong to tell your client that we are fully booked for the next 6 months and we will continue in the next 6 months thereabout. So if they really like you, if they really want to work with you, they will hold on. All right, that's one strategy, and that will also give them an impression that this guy or this lady is too good for her to have so much lined up and have people to wait, on the waiting list. So that's another thing. So don't take more than you can. You're just like putting 2 fists in your mouth. Definitely that's not gonna work. All right, so that's what you need to do. Know your capability. What can I handle? And just take as much as you can handle at a time. And then another thing is, when you are working, you need to be very disciplined. Be disciplined not to procrastinate. There are things you are meant to handle right now. Handle it right now. Don't keep it for tomorrow. Why would you tell yourself, I'm going to work on the one page website that you can do within a space of 4 hours? Like if you give it all the time, 4 hours, you're done. And you're telling yourself, I'm going to work on it for 45 minutes, then I'll continue tomorrow for 45 minutes. Why are you breaking it? Why don't you just give it the attention and get done with it? And that will even make your client to know that, hey, this one knows her onion, and they'll keep coming to you because you. One thing I would say is handle it well. All right, handle it within a good space of time, and then give them the impression that you can handle it faster and better and in good time. All right, so don't procrastinate. Take as much as you can handle, and most of all, at source. At source. If your company is growing, or you know that maybe you have a health issue or challenge, I know the money is sweet, but sharing it with another person to save you from breaking down completely and saving you from getting to stain your brand's name is the best you can do. So outsource it so that you can handle the ones you can handle within the time you have. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you.
I,
So
I
yes,
wanna
I'm going to give you the privilege to choose
I
the.
want to
Oh
add
yeah, Nina.
one more.
Yes.
Learn to say no. It's okay to say no. Yes. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah. And hustling is very important. It's a very important skill. You can't just do the work, but you got to learn how to sell as well. But so, and I love what you said, know your capabilities. If you are a good seller, like people say I'm a pimp, I am. My halal title is Chief Unicorn Officer, but the other title is Chief Pimping Officer. I sell people naturally. I can't help it. So, and I put people together. So yeah, work on that and start selling people. Know your capabilities and work it. Okay. Got it.
Awesome. Yes.
Thank you, Junma. You're amazing.
Yes. And say no. I think I will so resonate to that because saying no is the difficult part of our lives. So yes, Udanma, I want you to choose. I'm giving you the privilege
Yeah.
to choose the next person. Who would you think will be the best to add on to this now?
Go, Felix. Go, Felix. Go, go, go.
So energetic. I love her. I'm not an expert. I'm just someone who is seasoned, and I'm going to speak based on my personal experience for what works true for me. I think that the key to being able to accomplish everything that Nina and Uduma just said is courage. It is the courage to say no when someone is on the other side of a relationship and they're constantly just taking and demanding without being considerate. And it is the courage to say no when even the people that you love, they are constantly needing more from you, and you know that in order for me to serve them more, I need to serve myself first. It is also the courage to say yes to certain decisions that is very scary. It's extremely scary, terrifying, in fact, but something that may help you take your business and take yourself to the next level. And it is the courage to decide when faced with two decisions, both of which is a zero-sum game. Which one should you choose? And perhaps certain decision when both are positives, and certain decisions when either way you choose, you're going to lose, and you have no idea what is the outcome is going to turn out. And I think that is the key to everything that we just discussed so far. It's actually courage.
Very true. Yeah. Thanks for summarizing that, Felix. And yes, so let's hear from Pyro. Yes.
Okay, this is lovely. There's so much that everybody has. Their input is so strong, so powerful, so empowering. Okay, I'm going to play the devil's advocate. I'm going to come from the psychology point of view. Okay, so first of all, one thing that you truly must understand about owning a time schedule or owning a timetable is that you've got to live by the schedule. So regardless when you make it, some people work better at nighttime, some people work better at morning, some people like to have lunchtimes off. You have to create the schedule that works for you and the clients that are your ideal client. My clients are in America. So therefore, for me, sometimes I've either got to work very, very early or I've got to work very, very late. So I make my schedule. I create my schedule around what I want. Now I'm going to lead into the second part. When I say devil's advocate, there is a certain time to say no. And then there is a certain time where you must conquer the uncomfortable to unleash your potential. Because if we get too used to forever saying no, we're not actually going to face the things that are uncomfortable. And the things that are uncomfortable are going to help us grow. We don't grow in our comfort zone, which is actually our zone of fear, because we want to stay safe and comfortable. So if you're in the audience right now and you're listening to this, I want you to understand two things. You must conquer the uncomfortable to unleash your actual potential in your business, in your world. And the second thing is that when you create the schedule, create it around pleasure that you want to achieve. You must. It is a moral obligation for you to live your day the way you want your best day.
Oops.
So if you have a day,
What is
you
that?
have a day,
That is awesome.
I don't know. If you have a day where you want to schedule a nap, you want to schedule reading, you want to schedule a bike ride, you want to schedule a massage, you want to schedule to get your hair done, put it in the schedule. Live to the schedule. So I'm looking forward to going over Nina's schedule.
No, even my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just say something? My boyfriend, who's probably tuning in right now, has to look at my schedule before he calls me. That's how bad I am.
You
We
and
should
I.
get. You really should get a session with Rodan.
Is that what you do,
There's
Piero?
actually, yeah. So
Oh my
I can already
God.
see this working out. I can already see this working out. You need a 1 hour consultation. Okay, so I want you to think about this as well. There's one more thing that I want to add.
Mhm.
A lot of people do things that they don't enjoy.
Mm.
So some of the things that you can delegate when you start growing your business, and I want to keep it basic because this is for freelancers who are starting off. If you can find someone to do the admin tasks and you have the income already, the small amount of income for someone to do your admin tasks, do that. Assist with them so that you understand the admin, but don't put so much time into your admin, because the number one thing you want to focus on is the income producing activity. Now, what I mean by that, what I mean by that is a mechanic. I'm just going to use mechanic as simple for everybody to understand. The mechanic was an apprentice, and he loved being a mechanic, and he went to he became the mechanic, then the foreman, and then the workshop controller, and then now he loves mechanics, but now he's got his head in the books. His passion's gone. He's no longer doing the part that he actually loves. Now, not everybody wants to be a mechanic forever. I understand that. But if you love being the mechanic, you can get someone else to manage your business while you're still the owner. This is the biggest thing that I see, is where people try to do, oh no, because I'm the owner, I've got to do everything. And it's like, no, you don't. If you want to be the mechanic, you can hire a manager and you still own the business. You can do whatever you like. I want you to think about where this is coming from. I said before, psychology is 80% of business, 20% of strategy. I'm always going to come back to that point. So if you're watching right now and you are a freelancer and you're like, you're really enthralled about this and you think that I'm just talking to you, it's because I am. 80% psychology, 20% strategy.
Awesome. Thank you.
I want to add
Yes.
something, if I
All
may.
right. Yes.
So because we're speaking to people, freelancers who are just starting out, and I used to be like that. I used to be very influenced with the hustling psychology, the hustler mentality. I watched too much Gary Vee. I watched too many Grant Cardone, and I'm all about 10x action, and I burned myself down to the ground doing that. A lot of people I see, they are freelancers. So hard work. We are trading time for money. So hard work. The more I work, the more money I make. But a lot of people forget to put in some head work. Some head work in terms of where the business is going, what's the direction in terms of 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And in fact, what's the whole point of my existence? In fact, most people don't even think about these questions. And they're just living month after month after month after month. And before you know it, that's it. The reason why the exercise I told you earlier impacted me so much, because I don't want to, I wrote my epitaph halfway, and I realized that I got halfway left to go. And I look back and I don't want the rest of the halfway to say, Felix survived. I think life is more than just survival. And therefore we need to really think, actually, what is it about in the future? And beyond that, some hard work right here, which is the emotional side of things, following exactly what gives us joy, having the courage to make the right decisions, things like that. So hard work, head work, and heart work. That's all for me.
Perfectly said. Thank you so much. I am very sure all the audience are like super excited, and we hear say, Felix, I want to try not just survive. Yes. And everyone has been picking up all those wonderful, wonderful lines that you guys has been giving them, and I think all of them are writing down with a big note. I'm very sure at the end we ask the audience to take a snapshot and send it to us, okay? The amount of pages of note they have taken. All right. So we speak a lot about 80% of the psychology and 20% is strategy. So let's go a bit into strategy to give these people that. Hello, but I also need to know strategy, what kind of tools can I use and what kind of strategy can I use so that I can do better. So these questions I'm going to start with Felix. What are the tools and strategy needed for a freelancer to improve their performance?
Well, over the past 2 years, I've had the opportunity to work with more than 100 different solopreneurs and side hustlers, people who wants to start their own business and they're just working on the side. And I've come to the realization something really profound. I mean, on hindsight, it looks very obvious. And what I realized was that people are applying the wrong strategy for the wrong time. So they are applying scaling strategy for a survival stage. Or the other side is true. They have been surviving. They've been doing great at survival. And now it is time for the business to scale. And they are still applying survival strategies. And so they are stuck. So a lot of times people when they start asking questions about what should I do, the nature of the question tends to be, should I use Facebook ads? Should I write a book? Right? Should I hire an IP lawyer to protect my trademark? They ask all kinds of questions that is like too large, too big for them right now. So I created this framework, and which is basically just survival, survive, stabilize, and scale. Very simple. And under the survive stage, there's only two things you need to worry about: self-management and client management. Self-management, why? Because if your bucket is leaking, at the end of the day, your entire business is limited by you. So if you are not taken care of, and we are spending money all everywhere, and we are not making the right calls, whatever money that comes in, we're gonna waste away. So certain tools and assets need to be in place to take care of the self. And then comes the client management. I had a conversation yesterday with this amazing coach, and there was nothing at all that she wasn't trying to sell me anything at all. But from the start to the end, I felt so enrolled that I almost took out my credit card and asked, like, where can I sign up? And the reason why this happened was because she was so amazing in terms of the foundational work that she has done for her business. She knows exactly what her client wants, and because she keeps speaking to what the client wants, she doesn't need to sell anything. She doesn't need to hard sell anything. In fact, she doesn't even need to try. And people move around her. People refer other clients to her. Now compare that with someone who is typically new. The typical freelancer is constantly after chasing, because they don't have any effective mechanism in place to convert prospects into clients, right? So overall, self-management comes first, client management comes next. The third one would be community management. You should be surrounded by a community of people who love your work, who absolutely love your work, who already bought into your philosophy, and who are already willing to spend time with you. And from there, then comes the other kind of stuff like, how can I engage my soldier, my Facebook audiences and whatnot? What are the social media content I should be using? So it starts from the base, but most of the time people start from the other way around. So if you do this, if you follow this strategy, there is a saying that says all roads lead to Rome. But if you do this, all roads lead to you. And you know what? You don't even have to build the roads. Clients build the road to you. It is my firm stand that for a successful business to happen, you should be the sun by which planets revolve. You should be the flower that bees gather around, a magnet that compels action. That is how a freelancer should be, not the other way around. Hope that makes sense.
Make a lot of sense, Felix. That's made a lot of sense. Yes, that's like beautifully said. All roads leads to you. Be the flower, be the sun, be the moon. In fact, whoever wants to reach you, they will come to you. That's beautiful. Being said that, let's go to Pyro. Pyro, I would like to ask you too, will you suggest what kind of tools or strategy so they can actually excel better when they are embarking on freelance?
2014, October, my 32nd birthday. There was nothing but happiness in the air. Getting ready for a day at work. Yet another day, 12 hours, being a car sales manager. I just arrived home from a trip from Japan. In 2013, I was awarded the top selling sales manager of Nissan in New South Wales in my category. So I was awarded with a trip to Japan. I went, I came back. It was amazing. The food, the people, the taste, different. What I realized each time I woke up, my wife next to me, putting 2 feet on the ground. I really love the process of selling. Selling itself was challenging, but I love the process. And the only reason that selling was challenging is because the people above us were pushing for targets and KPIs and all of those lovely little acronyms that we hear in sales. I thought, how much longer am I going to do this? How much longer? So I made a decision. And that decision took me another 3 years. Now, Grant, in 2015, in 2015, I was the top selling sales manager for Toyota in New South Wales, Australia, in my category. So yet again, it was another achievement. But did I wake up every day happy? No, I didn't. And before too long, I took a chance on myself. My phone rang. My wife on the other end of the phone. We just had our second child. I need help. I need you to help me. I can't do this by myself. 12 hours at work, 12 hours away from home, 2 children. So 3 years later, I made that decision. Finally. Now, what's the point of my story, you're asking? The decision doesn't change whether it's today, tomorrow, 2 weeks, 2 years, or 20 years. The decision doesn't change. And the decision comes from two Latin words called di, which is to cut, and side, which means to kill. Now, I'm going to take you on a journey. When you create coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms from your youth, a lot of those defense mechanisms become automatic. So some of those decisions become automatic. So you just cut off and kill the most challenging decision because the easy road is over here. And when you actually have to take the road that's least traveled, it's a hard decision. It's a challenging decision, but the decision doesn't change. You actually have to conquer the uncomfortable and make that conscious decision. You have to, in that moment, you have to weigh up all the pros and cons. And really what changes everything is that burning desire when you say, I'm going to do it. I decide. And that in that moment, you unleash your potential. You cut off and kill the comfortable decision you've been making the whole time. And now all of a sudden you're going to wear in a new patch in the ground. And the more you keep wearing that new patch in the ground, it's going to become a path, and you will pave that path. So the tip and the strategy that I would love to share with you, there's a few of them in that story. And the main one is become aware of the decision, the real decision, the conscious decision that you must make for yourself, for your business, for your family, for your passion, for anything that drives you to enjoy your life. And decide. You got to decide. Otherwise, you're going to keep waking up like I did. Just waiting, thinking, when's the right time? So make a decision.
That's beautifully said. Thank you so much for that story, that very inspiring story. Yes, make the decision so that you will not regret later. Yes, so let's go to Miss Udenma. I'm going to throw the same questions to you. What is the kind of tools and strategy that you would recommend to our freelancers?
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. And that question, I would say that why I started out early as a freelancer, there were some things that worked for me. There were some things along the line I found out that they were not helping me. All right, so I'm going to just share from a few of them. Number one is, one of the tools you need is you need to get trained by another freelancer that is doing well in that area, all right, that you have interest in. See, there is no way of you trying to deceive yourself that I'm going to get better in the job. Sure, you will, but if someone can lead you, if someone can show you the way, it shortens the path, and it also reduces the mistakes. It also helps you to start making the gain in time. So you need to get trained. You need to get trained. And while you are getting trained, there's nothing wrong for you to do some things on just do them, let me say, like do them without demanding for payments. All right, you don't need to do them for so many persons, just a few persons. Now the reason is this: it will help you to capture how good you are performing, and because those people will give you sincere review. So that way you'll be able to know, oh, this is my strength, this is my weakness, you know, and that will help you while you are planning to start putting prices. That's for those that are starting out, all right, not for those who are already in it. Okay, so you need to get trained and also try to do some things and get reviews, all right, very important. And then another thing is, you need to think like a business person. You need to think like a business person. If you're thinking like a business person, you will invest in yourself. That means you're going to invest in what you're doing. Get the best devices, get the best gadgets, you know, and you think about that this should also generate profits. So that way, you know that your time is money. You can't waste your time. Even if you're working just 6 hours in a day, it should be arranged and properly managed in such a way that is to give you money. So structure your freelancing business like a real business. Don't think I'm just playing along. I'm just doing this to pass a while away time. No, think like a business person. All right. So you need to structure your business. And then another tool that is very important is follow up. You need to follow up on your clients. Follow up on your clients. Once you're done with job, don't relax. Follow up on them. Find out what's going on. Do you actually like what I did for you? Do you like that which I offered? And that way it will help you to know what is still working and what is not working for them. And that is absolutely very important. And another tool is learning through the mistakes. This one actually helped me. Learning through the mistakes. Don't think because you have 14 years experience from a corporate job before you went into freelancing, because of that you know everything. No, you still make mistakes. So be open-minded to know that definitely you make mistakes and then learn through them. All right. And when your clients complain about something, don't throw it at their face like, hey, I'm an expert. You can tell me that. No, you go back and check it through and find out where you got it wrong and get to correct it and learn through it. And while you're learning, document. Documentation is very important. Whether it's a proposal, document. Whether it's the mistake, document. Whether it's the win, document. I tell you, that will help you. I think that's all I will share. Even though I still have so many tools, but I think I'll just drop one more. Be a good thinker. Be a critical thinker. Like, that's the tool you need. Be a critical thinker. Like, wake up and set out an hour or two every day to think. What can I do? If you're thinking, you'll be innovative. I tell you. If you're thinking, you'll definitely be innovative, and you'll be productive, and you'll make a lot of money. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. That's like a pool of strategy and tools that she has shared with you. And Nina, would you like to add on to that?
Do I want to add on to that? I don't know. She said so much. There's nothing more to add to that. Really, I blanked out. Literally blanked out. It's amazing. Well, okay. The only thing I would say to end off what Ujung say, my strategy would be just langgar, which in the Malay language means just crash it. It means, you're driving a car and you crash it. You know what? If you're just starting out, just crash it. That's what we did. Our entire business was just langaring it, kind of thing.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how it's going to be for you. The things that you do, the things that you're building might not even exist for us. We didn't know how to run our business. The entire thing that we're doing did not exist. So it's kind of like, I've said this a couple of times if you hear me talk, but it's like you getting in the car, you're driving at night, you've got the lights on, and you can only see up to 100 meters. But you get in that car and you drive to 100 meters, because once you reach 100 meters, you're going to see another 100 meters, another 100 meters. And before long, you're going to go from KL to Thailand, Phuket is even possible. So if you don't know, just langa. Okay, we learn from YouTubers on this. You figure things out along the way. You get better and you learn from your failures. And you know what? You just dust yourself off. Big deal. You don't need to get it perfect. And version 1 is going to be better than version 0. Proposal wise, version 50 is going to be better than version 1. Version 100 will be better than version 99. So you just get in that car and you just langa. Okay, if we can do it, you can too.
Awesome.
That's the only
Yes.
thing I would say.
Hashtag just langa was trending for a very long time. Yes.
Yes. Which is also the name of our show.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for that, Nina. Yes, remember, just langa, that means just crash through. And yes, thank you so much for the lovely tools and strategies. See, I think I need to blend that with all of you for coffee. That's okay. Kiva, Vikas, Carol, Thank you for
That's
that, Cheryl.
Cheryl. Yeah.
Yes.
She has different names on different social media. I didn't even recognize it. You're
Exactly right,
right,
Nina.
right?
Sometimes you got to like, okay, I think that's Cheryl. Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
have
And
a
she'll say,
lot of
I'll PM you. And I'm like, who are you?
uh-huh. Yes, yeah, I will. The only person you probably might give a virtual coffee is to Pero and Udenmo. The rest of us we can meet. We all are here. Okay. All right. And of course, I'm very sure the audience will agree with me throughout the conversation that we had, even we are talking about freelancer, we were all focusing on be you. Think about yourself, make the decision yourself, have a critical thinking, critique yourself, think about it, take things positively. It's all matter is you before you put the success in front of you. So being said all this, I have this beautiful question which I'm going to start from Udenma. As a freelancer, you would be juggling between work, personal life, and sometimes so many other hats that we wear on our society. How do we balance both of all these aspects in our life? She froze. How
No.
do we have the perfect balance? How do we get all this? She frozen? Can she
She
hear
looks
me?
very good frozen if she is frozen. Right? No, she's
Yeah, she
not. She's
does.
thinking about the
Oh,
Oh, she's
question.
okay.
Okay.
thinking. Okay. Are you thinking? All right.
She's
We were like,
looking
are
at
you
us. You're so
frozen?
I'm trying to hear the question.
Oh, okay. As a freelancer, we are juggling
Okay.
between a lot of hats that we wear, right? Sometimes it's so
Mm-hmm.
difficult to balance life. We don't care about ourselves. We focus on everything else, and we go towards like, oh, it's like the moment something comes up, we just jump in and do. So my question here is, how do we balance this? How do we have this balanced life?
Mm.
Is there anything?
Good question. Good question there. In life, no matter what you find yourself doing, all right, there are other aspects of your life which you can't put away. Okay, so I think the most important thing that will help you is setting goals around all the aspects of your life. Setting goals around all the aspects of your life, because sometimes people set goal for the business and they ignore their health. They set goals for their career and they ignore their family. They set goals for their family and they ignore other relationship. So you just need to set goal around all the aspects of your life: recreation, business, health, other relationship, your career, your spirituality. So once you have goals set in all these areas, it makes it easier for you to make sure that all are being attended to without anyone suffering. Okay, because you realize that they are all important to you, because they are all connected. If your health is suffering, definitely you won't find the time and the strength to work. And when you're not healthy enough, your family suffers it because you won't have all the time for them. So we just need to make sure that we set goals around all the aspects of our lives and ensure that we are taking care of all of them without ignoring anyone, all being taken care of just as we live every day. All right, so that's one way to balance your work and your personal life. And then another thing is that you also need to, just still on that aspect of setting goals around them, you need to plan what I said, setting definite time for each of these activities. As a freelancer, to an extent, you have a kind of full control over your time. All right, you decide if you want to work 6 hours in a day. You decide if you want to work just for 10 hours. So that way, when it's time for work, focus on work. And if you're working, and maybe let's say you have a partner, maybe when you're working, your partner is at home to take care of the kids or take care of other things for you. while you focus on work. And when you're off work, maybe that's when your partner gets to work. So you just need to know how to set definite time for each thing, and even if you need to attend to all at the same time, just choose the most active time to work with clients, and know the one where you can multitask without it affecting the next one. All right, so that's something that we really need to do to help us to balance over work and personal life. And another thing is you need to be intentional, like be super intentional in taking your life, your self-care seriously. Because if you leave us, we'll all go about work, 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 work. So if you become intentional about your self-care, then you find out that along the line you remember that, hey, I need to catch some rest. Hey, I got to sleep. Hey, I need to go for checkup, for my medical checkup. Hey, I need to unwind. I need to take a walk. Oh, I need to set an alarm to remind me to go to the gym, because honestly, Terry looks at someone that gyms a lot. Felix, I wouldn't tell. Don't mind me, but Nina,
Look at
that's
Piero.
not a proof. That's not a proof at all. No, no, no. So it's important.
Nothing,
Let's
it's just
just
a
be
small one.
intentional.
That's the one I want.
Oh, Felix.
I think Piero has more muscles than me.
Piero, can you show
Piero.
us, please?
Uh, Hero has a mini game with him.
Awesome.
He does it every
Awesome.
time.
So we just need to be intentional. We just need to be intentional. Very important, So, and I think to top it all, we've already discussed that is all about you knowing what your core message and mission is. If you know that, you will miss them all. Yes, just define, this is business. This is me. Yes. And if you're able to do that, you can't miss them all. That's the truth. Thank you so much.
That's amazing, Udama. That's amazing. Yes. Self-care, self-love. She literally put everything in one line. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So let's get Felix to add on to that. How do you have the balance of personal as well as work life and every other hat that you wear?
I would like to offer an insight, a powerful tool, and a suggestion. First comes the insight. I'm gonna physically enact out how balance look like for most people. When we talk about balance, most people do this, right? So on one end is this, on one end is this. How do I find the middle ground? That is how most people think. But let me challenge you to think about this. Or those of you in the audience, please type it down. Does this sound like a balance, or does this sound like a compromise? I would say it's a compromise. It's like, I can't get everything that I want. You can't get everything that you want. So let's meet in the middle. We both lose. It's a lose-lose proposition. So what do we actually do about this? The insight that I got over the years is that instead of this and this, we are actually not talking about this. We're actually talking about the center, the point of strength. If I balance rocks on top of another, like the Japanese rock balancing game, right? It is at that position that is most strong, that is most balanced. Balance comes from strength. Balance comes from integrity. How aligned are you? How much of an integrity do you have with yourself? And so I want to introduce my tool, the tool that worked for me. Every single morning, I wrote a letter to myself. And I wrote it from a vantage point of the Felix, which is 1 year in advance. And I wrote it back to myself to thank myself for all the work that I've done. And what are the results of the work that I've done for staying committed throughout the whole year. What are we currently now enjoying? And then from that space of me being very clear what is going to happen, inevitably happen a year from now, I ask myself, what is three most important thing that I need to do today? And it's just three, a maximum, sometimes even one, because we like to think that we have time for 20, but that's not true. We only have time for one, two, three, just a very small amount, and that is the meaning of the word decide, like what Piero talked about. Decide. We have to kill off everything else. We decide on this one thing to the exclusion of everything else. That takes courage. So we decide what is the intention, and from there, I do the rest of my journaling, gratitude and whatever not, and that's how I manage my own time. And above that, this the suggestion, and I'm gonna tell you something which is kind of off. It may sound very weird, but I promise you it's relevant. You see, a lot of freelancers have a very bad relationship with sales, and I will link it back to time in a very short while. Okay, why do people don't have time? Because they're selling themselves way too short. They don't charge enough. They don't see themselves as valuable. They see themselves as mediocre, as comparable with other freelancers. So they said, I can't be anything special, so I need to lower down my price. Well, what if you can increase your price? What if you can be worth 2 to 3 times more than your nearest competitor? And because you charge that amount, you don't have to work so hard. And the reason why most people think of selling, has a very bad relationship with selling, is because they think of selling as a selfish thing. And I want to offer, and those of you who are listening, I would like to offer a different perspective. You know how people get married? That moment when the man presents the ring, it is a beautiful moment, is it not? That ring is a material representation of love. It's a union between two souls. Now, for me, selling, that process of exchanging money for time, is a sacred union between two souls. If I give you money, I'm telling you, I trust you. I really trust you. Please guide me. Please help me. And if you accept my money, if you're a person of integrity, you're basically saying, I am now committed to you. So with that comes a suggestion. Get a mentor or get a coach. There are people within your industry who have been there, done that, still doing it, probably retired. They have figured out all this whole game. And don't settle. Like, if you can find a unicorn mentor who can guide you for free, go go ahead, right? But for me, I wouldn't settle for a free mentor. So far, I paid more than $100,000 on professional and personal development courses. I no longer believe in free mentorship. There's only so much that we
Yeah.
can do with free information. I want to have to pay. I want to pay the price. Get me? So
That's
my
true.
first
That's true.
mentor challenged me to pay the amount that she is worth. Because at that point in time, I have a problem. My problem is I always reduce my price. And she said, no, Felix, if you want me to guide you, you have to pay the full price. And by that act, she challenged me to step up to my greatness. And within that 1 month, my whole life changed. And I believe and I think that that's something that many people need as well. So that would be my insight tool and suggestion. Hope it helps. Thank you.
Right. Yes, definitely. That's very, very insightful. Thank you so much for that, Felix. And Nina, let's hear from you.
What was the question again?
How do you
How
Balance
do
between
you
work and personal. Yeah,
how
got
do
it.
you balance your personal life, business life, and every other hats that we wear in our life?
Throughout this whole session, I keep agreeing with Felix. So we're definitely aligned in terms of, belief systems or whatever. But here's the thing that I would say, one of the secret things that a lot of people don't realize at Popcorn, and why we're so, where we're really great with our students and how our students are able to success is we work very closely with them. And a lot of it is to do with mindset. I, in particular, do a lot of clearing with them. We look at limiting beliefs, And when here's the thing, when things are not working out here in our lives, which could mean you're struggling between your personal life and work life, it's usually a sign that it's either the next stage of growth for you, or Houston, it's time to look within. Houston, we've got a problem. We got to look in and see, because only when you go within and you change the thing here, this whole thing changes. So let me share with you some of the things, and there are some people watching here. You know it. I work with you closely on this, and I personally have gone through a lot of it. I probably need 1 more hour session with Piero on this. When there's a lot of people asking for my time, and I'm not able to give it, it's usually because I'm not taking care. It's usually a sign that I'm not taking care of myself. That's one. Number two, it's also a sign that, wait a minute, if people are willing to pay you money, that means maybe it's time for you to increase your price. Why? Sometimes, people like us, we want to impact the world. We want to reach out to more people. So we don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
either we think we're not worthy enough to charge higher, or we want to help more people. But here's the thing, we're not helping them by playing a lower game. It's like what Felix's mentor said. You gotta pay for it so that they understand. Because, and here's why you need to pay for your coaches, because there is an energy exchange. If you are not paying, you're getting free. You're kind of using your coach, and that becomes like a parasitic energy, and that's not a nice vibe and energy. And in business, if you go in and you have that energy, you're kind of like taking from people and kind of thing, and people will start taking from you. So it becomes a very unhealthy vibe. You get tired, your clients get tired, because people are taking from each other, that sort of thing. What you want to do is fill up yourself like your full cup, and that you're overflowing with abundance of water, if it's a cup, or in your sense, it's an abundance of self-care, love, unconditional love, and you're able to really give the best of you to your people and your client, your best service. And when they take from that overabundance, then it doesn't feel that they're taking from you. You are a full cup, they're taking from the overflowing, and you get to give out more to people. It's a healthier ecosystem without people parasiting you and you parasiting people. So that's what I believe. And yes, pay your coaches, because you want, there's an exchange there, that sort of thing. So when things are not working out, is usually a sign that we got to look within and work on what's not working, and usually it's a challenge to another level. That's what I would say. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Nina. Thank you so much. I so resonate to that. Challenge next level. Sometimes things doesn't work. We go out seeking everywhere outside, but we don't seek inside. So with that, I'm going to ask Haro, because he speaks a lot about how the being inside brings out the being outside. From my conversation with him in few days back and today, like literally, he puts that into my head clearly. So yeah, Piero, to you.
Felix, did you want to say something?
Oh,
Yeah, I want to address Kiva Wita's comment. She said that installment, some of us want to pay but just don't have that yet. I really, really want to address this because it means so much to me. I didn't have the money to pay my first mentor. I didn't. But you know what I've been doing before I paid my first mentor? I've been attending courses after courses after courses, free courses, learning from books and everything. And what really changed me was when she said, Felix, you've learned so much. And for the past 3 days you spent with me in my event, you've learned so much too. Why don't you use the knowledge? Go and make the money to pay me. And I'm like, yeah, why don't I do that? Yeah, why don't I do that? And I raise the funds within 1 week. Sometimes it is not the lack of resources, it is the lack of resourcefulness. It is the lack of
The
will.
lack of belief.
It's
as
a lack
well.
of belief in yourself and
Having
things. So
said that, yeah, go on. Sorry.
yeah, actually, you know what? You go on first, and then I'll take from there.
Yeah, actually, some of the times, like Cheryl, I know we've been talking for quite some time. Installments, cough. Actually, sometimes a lot of people don't just assume. They don't even ask us. They assume we're the most expensive training. I can tell you there's a lot of trainings out there which is probably more expensive and don't get your results. Why? Is it because people don't even bother asking us? Don't even come out and ask. People don't even find out. If you don't find out, how will you find the solution? That is the first thing. Find out. Take action. And Felix did the amazing thing. He actually took action, and then he used the knowledge that he learned and get there. Another thing, we've given so many courses, okay, and some of the stuff is equivalent to some of the stuff that people pay for. But guess what? In the free ones, nobody seems to benefit. Why? Because when it's free, you guys don't appreciate it. Okay, but when you pay through your ASS, okay, whoa, that's when suddenly, whoa, this is so powerful. Oh my god, I learned so much. And I'm like, honestly, it's psychology. I mean, in my head, we just sit there and we're like kind of thing. So yeah, pay up, find out first. Yes, pay. Number two, find out. If you don't find out, you'll never know.
Yeah.
You will not find the means. Yeah.
Yes.
So I want to add on to that a little bit. I actually lead a community called Thrive Together. One of my life goals is to help the United Nations alleviate world poverty or eliminate world poverty. And I believe that the only way we can do that is through education. Like people need to learn about money. People need to know how business works and how money works. So I have this thing where it comes back to balance, because I want to give, but free stuff people don't appreciate. So what I do is that I impose limitations. I impose severe, strict restrictions and hurdles for people to join my community. And I believe that I'm not the only one in the world who is doing that. There are many, many people in the world. There are many coaches and trainers who takes people on limited pro bono quantities, but they impose heavy restrictions. And I want you to understand that the restrictions and the hurdles are necessary for yourself. It is not something that is done for their own benefit. It's something done for you. So everyone who's watching, if you feel that you don't have the resources, make it happen. And if you can't make it happen, then go and find somebody who is doing something like that. And if you set your mind to it, where there's a will, there's a way. If you really set your mind to it, I'm sure it will happen for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Felix. Yes. And to you, Perry.
Okay, everybody, what everybody has said has just been amazing. Like literally to be surrounded by these guys, to hear their insights. We've all got experience, and everybody is superior to us in knowledge in some way. So firstly, as I wrap this up, I would like to say thank you to everybody for being present, sharing all your insights. And now I'm going to collect what everybody has said, because we almost fit into the same categories. There are 3 areas that you must dominate, you must champion, you must conquer to be a freelancer. I'm going to wrap up the whole conversation. Number 1, alignment. You must be in alignment. You must be in alignment with why you're doing it. You must be in alignment to be willing to be coached, to be willing to be coached. Because I'll tell you right here, right now, you don't know anything. We don't know anything. Because the more you know, the more you realize you don't actually know. So you've got to be willing. Alignment is going to get you that willingness. You've got to be in alignment. It is so horrendous how many individuals are out there, not making them wrong, but they're out of alignment due to their ego or their title. Now, the ones that are actually making it, they're doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing for themselves. They're doing the right thing by their staff. They're doing the right thing by their clients and customers. The second thing, if I wrap this up, is commitment. You've got to be willing to commit if you want it. There's a big difference between just wanting it and then being committed. To walk the talk versus just to talk the talk. You've got to be committed. And if you're listening, your current level of results is equal and a reflection to your current level of commitment. Ouch.
Yeah.
So if you're not exactly where you want to be right now, it's your commitment. But is the commitment in the right place? Is it in alignment? And then I'm just going to wrap up what Nina said, because the third one is mindset. So many people are willing to scrape the surface of what's actually there. But if you really want to make it, you have to really go deep, like she said. You have to go deep where the gold is, because there's so much gold up here. And the thing is that with every level is another devil. With every dungeon, there's another dragon for you to slay. Whose dragon is it? Whose devil is it? It's yours. It's the limiting beliefs. It's the fears. It's the lies. It's the excuses you continue to tell yourself. It's what I said at the very start of the conversation. You've got to conquer the uncomfortable to unleash your potential in this world. They're the three things that you must master. It's a pleasure to be by all your sides.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, he took what I supposed to do. He just took everything, and then so yeah. So my job is done. All right.
Yay!
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in, and to the panelists who has made it so inspiring, and each and every topic, that conversation or the sorry whatever we have been sharing today benefit a lot for our freelancer and all those who are watching us. I'm very sure they enjoyed the session. And with that note, I would just like to finish the session today with by saying, be you, be unique. And when you make a decision, you definitely will be able to be successful. With that note, thank you so much to all of you who's watching us, as well as the awesome panelists. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, guys.
Sorry. I would like to have questions.